Hello, State Representative Zach Mako for the 183rd District here at the 102nd Annual Farm Show in Harrisburg, PA. I'm here with Secretary Redding of the Department of Agriculture. How are you, sir?
Doing great, thank you. We're a couple of days into this, so I'm doing better.
Oh, I'm sure,
Yeah.
I'm sure, right?
Yeah.
Running around, a lot of interviews, a lot
It's
of
amazing.
talking.
Actually, we're starting with you today, so this will set in motion a number of interviews, a lot of public interest in this show. So all good things.
Absolutely. Well, we'll have to set the bar high, sir. So
We have.
Good.
Yes.
So I have a couple of questions for you, for people that are back in the district that see what's going on. So my first question is, what makes the farm show so unique, bringing the non-farming community to the producers that are here in Pennsylvania?
You know, the history of this show, I think, is pretty amazing. When you think about it, it's a Commonwealth show. It's not a department or a trade association or a county, right? It's a Commonwealth show.
Right.
And it carries with it that sort of label, which I think is important in of itself because it's a public investment. But it's also a way for us to bring the agriculture and the consuming public together. We spend a lot of time trying to figure out what each other wants, what each other needs. And here at the Farm Show, you get a chance to sort of put all of that together in 8 days called the Farm Show. So it's important outreach and education, but it's also listening pretty intently about what consumers are saying about what we do, what agriculture is doing, what the trends are.
So, I mean, on that note, a piggyback question. You said educating the public. As far as the education system, what are we doing as far as educating the non-farming populace about what's going on with education with agriculture in the education department,
Right.
I guess?
Well, I
with
think,
that?
listen, you can look at this complex and this show as a classroom. 8 days of learning,
Right.
About the food system, and every venue you go in here, every display has some connection to sort of ag, food, the environment, and you see it here, right? So I think just the 8 days itself is an education. Beyond that, there's a lot of things that we're doing. We work in partnership with the Farm Bureau.
Okay.
In the ag science mobiles that they have, there's 5 of them now that travel the state and
That's cool.
go into the schools. That's all Farm Bureau owned, but we advocate for that. It's really important. We have a woodmobile that talks about the wood products industry here in Pennsylvania. That's part of the Department of Agriculture and Hardwood Development Council. Their sort of outreach efforts. And then you have this other column around trying to look at the ag science programs we have in the state and how to grow them.
Right.
And then this other component of where they're not structured ag science program, but they're teaching ag education and really trying to support them there. So multi-pronged. I would say even our county fair system, right, is a really important part of that outreach.
Cool. And in fact, I was walking around earlier and I saw they had a aquaponic system over there, and I was talking to a high school senior that was running it, and a tremendous wealth of information that student had. And I wish him the best of luck. He's going on to nursing later on, but that was a great project that they had with the fish, and then they growing the plants afterwards.
Yeah.
Switching gears, the spotted lanternfly. I know that recently it's come up into our area in the 183rd. I have parts of Lehigh and Northampton County, and what's the problem with it? What should we be on the lookout for? What can we do about the spotted lanternfly, and why is it such a nuisance here?
Yeah. Well, I'm sorry you haven't.
Yes.
Right? It is the first time in the United States here in Pennsylvania. So part of our challenge is it's a new pest, it's an invasive pest, it's invasive in every way.
It's a beautiful insect.
Unfortunately, yes. Unfortunately, it is a beautiful pest, right? So we have, for the last 3 years, really worked at trying to eradicate it. Tried, I say, because in 2017, this has simply exploded.
Right.
And we are now in 13 counties that are quarantined by the state of Pennsylvania for movement of product, meaning it can, but there has to be a protocol followed, pretty strict.
Okay.
Right, so it doesn't move out. So we're in that process right now. We've got our surveillance teams out. We've got a business sort of certification piece in place that allows business to move product.
Okay.
We're trying to do pretty active surveillance in the community. Now, since we're in the winter, the only blessing of this cold weather may be to sort of kill off some of those spotted lanternfly eggs, right? But our issue remains for 2018, trying to control the Atlantis tree. We don't have any chemical controls at this point. They're across the counter products that you can buy at Lowe's or Home Depot or Supply Store. But at this point, our strategy is to contain and then work with our USDA, U.S. Department of Agriculture to continue to eradicate.
Okay. And what should we do if we come across one? What should I do if I'm out hiking on the Appalachian Trail or something? What should I do if I see it?
Yeah, that's a great question. So it's important if you would notify the Department of Agriculture, but go ahead and kill it.
Okay.
Right? Don't. We've had folks call and they want to give them to us. Right? They get put them in a container of alcohol. Get rid of the egg masses. But knowing where they are is also help us in the surveillance.
Okay.
So we can tell if they've moved or not, where people identify them. That's really important.
Okay.
So all of that's on the Department of Agriculture website.
All right, we'll get that out.
Okay.
Next question, I love venison,
and
my understanding is there's chronic wasting disease going on in Pennsylvania. What do we know about it? What should we be looking for as hunters when we're out and about? And what effects does it have on humans?
Yeah, so it's in that category of worry, right? Because of the whitetail population in Pennsylvania, and you as myself, and you're an avid hunter, you like to do that. You don't want that interrupted in any way.
Right.
We're working with our partners at the Pennsylvania Game Commission on, again, sort of monitoring that. The state laboratory system, as part of our animal health and diagnostic system, is doing the diagnosis of deer, and for the Game Commission this year, we'll test probably 5,000 deer for CWD. You probably have heard that there's been a couple of additional positives identified in that Franklin area, south central Pennsylvania. So again, it's a bit like the spotted lanternfly. There's not a good answer. There is not a public health impact with either the spotted lanternfly or the chronic wasting disease. Okay. There's no correlation between them.
Okay. Well, that's good.
But they're a worry, right? They're a worry.
Okay. So I just became aware of this. The PASS program, the Pennsylvania Agriculture Surplus System, is that correct?
Pennsylvania Agriculture Surplus System, yes.
And so if somebody wants to become a part of that, what is it? How does someone become part of it? And if someone needs, one of the charitable organizations needs to reach out, how do they go about doing that? Yeah.
Well, thanks for asking. We're really proud of that in Pennsylvania, because it's something that, it's obvious but difficult to do. And the obvious part is if you're a farmer producing food, and you know that you have folks in the community who need the food, how do you get it there, right?
Yep.
And there are well-established soup kitchens and food banks, but this is the first part of that, where somebody has to actually move the product into that charitable system. So several years ago, we did a demonstration project with apples and realized it works well. Importantly, we cover the picking cost, the harvest cost, plus the packing cost, because usually the things that are out of pocket for the farmer. So the short of all this is, if farmers can participate, they can contact the Department of Agriculture, our Bureau of Food Distribution. If the charitable food system, anybody in that system, the Central Pennsylvania Food Bank is our lead partner there to coordinate across the state. So far we've moved 3 million pounds of product,
awesome.
Right? That's apples and beef, and you make your list of product, and we have produced it, moved it into the charitable food system. So really proud of that.
That's a great program.
It's a great program.
That's a great program. Once again, thank you for taking the time out of your busy day on the 8-day stretch.
Honored to do it.
Thanks again, sir.
Yeah, great to see you. Thank you.